First and foremost, everyone's favorite book, The Hunger Games. Now this novel takes place in Pan Am, while children from the ages of 12 to 18 are selected to fight to the death. And you know, all the other people watch it as entertainment. That's pretty good. Not really. And then the government separates Pan Am into districts to keep order and discourage rebellion. You know, this might actually be what happens someday. I honestly have no idea, but might be. Alright, the second one, it's not very well heard of, but it's still pretty good. It's Delirium by Lauren Oliver. Love is considered a disease in this book. That's quite sad. You know, American scientists have found a cure for love. That's possible? I don't know. But every adult goes through surgery to have love taken out of them. It's not optional. And you're forced to have surgery for the government, so you can't love. That's pretty weird. So yeah.
Next book.
The Giver is also a great novel. Jonas is the rebel in this book because he's just weird. He's kind of like a normal person. Normal people don't do the same thing unless you're a cyborg. A cyborg twin. Then you would do the same thing as your cyborg twin, but I don't think. Anyway, there's no prejudice, and everyone looks the same. There's no color. That's pretty weird. Everyone's assigned a job based on what the government thinks they are like. And you know, they don't die. They're released. And no one knows they die, but they're actually dying. So, that's pretty weird. But anyway, conforming to society. Heck no. And this one, The Selection, by Kira Cass, is a chance of a lifetime. The opportunity to escape life is laid out for them. It's been laid out for them since birth. Anyway, these couple girls end up in a castle to be chosen by Prince Maxon to be the queen. And they just get taken away from their families. Lots of loneliness happens in this book. It's pretty sad. But then again, friendships form and relationships happen. So there's always a light in the dark. Alright, and this is the second book to the Maze Runner series. I honestly think this one's the best because they escape, and then they are captured again, and then they escape again. So, anyway, Thomas and his other friends escape the wicked buildings, and they have to face the challenges of the flare and a disease that turns people basically into mad, crazy zombies. But they do make it. They do make it, but they do have to face a lot of death and sadness because some people have received the disease and they just can't bring them with them anymore. It's sad. It's quite sad. And this one, Lord of the Flies, a pretty good book. Love it. A group of young boys, they get stranded alone on an island, and they fend for themselves. But they're very different groups. One group, Ralph's group, are very civilized and build shelter and find food. And the other one, Jack's group, basically just wants to hunt and do whatever the heck they want. Even possibly kill each other. Who knows? So, that's pretty cool. They are very savage in that book, but also very civilized. And this, The House of Scorpion, is about the struggle to survive as a free individual and search for the personal identity. Because in this book, if you are a clone of someone, you're not born. You're harvested from a cow. It's everyone's favorite part about this book. Especially the Egypts, too. They just kind of, they don't have, their life has no meaning, apparently. They just kind of work their entire life. And Matt is the clone to a very high-power drug dealer. And he can't escape that. So that's his fate. And it's quite, he doesn't want that fate. On this one, we recently read this book. It's pretty great. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. All printed materials are banned, so this book would be banned. Everything in this video, about this video, would be illegal, and we'd probably get the death sentence. But you know, the fire department burns books. They start fires instead of putting them out. That's pretty crazy, I know, right? But they attempt to keep their society emotionless, and everyone knows the exact same thing. No one can be different. They all have to know and learn the same things. This one, Wither. Scientists have made the perfect humans. They don't get sick, they don't have disorders, but there's a virus that can plague them. And their children. Most likely their children and their children's children and so forth. So, fallout of this disaster, drastically set apart from the poor who scavenge for food in a society with few workers, the rich celebrate each new building as a continuance of the human race. Like, that's pretty weird, don't you think? We build buildings all the time, but in this book, it calls for celebration. Now this one is the second of Scott Westerfeld's series. In Pretties, everyone has to be turned pretty. Once you hit 16, they make you go through major plastic surgery. Like, search up for the picture of world's worst plastic surgery and multiply that by 10. Anyway, Tally, Youngblood, is against society's rules and decides to not get plastic surgery. Now she chooses between fighting to forget what she knows and fighting for her life. So, they want to kill her because she's going to be not pretty, even though she's very pretty. That makes no sense. But hey, let's kill her anyway. So those are the 10 dystopian novels everyone should read.